Photographers, have you ever found yourself in a position where you don't know where your next lead is coming from? Clients ask you what the next step is going to be. And you're even asking yourself later in the night, like, damn, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. This system that sits in front of me is the marketing system that I use to run my business on a day to day. As you can see, what it looks like a whole bunch of mess. But this is what I'm going to be teaching you guys today, because without a fully operational system, and I can tell you from experience, most photographers, their system looks something like this, right? This is what most photographers' systems look like. You post a mini shoot, you send somebody to your one-time service, or you make a post and you say, hey, book me. I'm now taking bookings for, like, now what I'm seeing on Instagram a lot, now taking bookings for September and October. Send people to your one-time service. Or you boost a post and then you send people to your one-time service and you conclude that ads don't work. Well, guess what? It just doesn't work for you, because it works for a lot of other people. I spend a lot of my time speaking to photographers all over the world, and I am deeply honored that you guys trust me to deliver information to you and to deliver stuff in a way that makes sense. Like, you guys aren't following me here for my good looks. You're following me because I'm providing information. And what happens a lot of times in the community is people just don't really share information because it's locked behind a golden key. So for what I want to do for you guys, I'm just going to give you a walkthrough and then I'm going to break it down one by one. So if you notice at the top of this full marketing funnel, I call it the $1 million photographer funnel, you'll see that we have our systems, processes, mindset, training, standards, habits, and Kaizen. I'm not going to go too much into these, but the one that I'm going to highlight for right now is this whole mindset piece, right? A lot of the majority of photographers that I speak to are part-time photographers. They treat it like a part-time hobby and they get part-time results, and they're shocked at the end of the year why they can't quit the job that they hate oh so much. Or they have the mindset of, I'll do it myself. I don't need a team. I don't need to hire a coach. I'll figure it out. I'll watch YouTube. And then they get stuck somewhere about 3,000 to 5,000 US per month. And then occasionally they may hit like a 7, 8, 9, or if they're lucky enough, a $10,000 per month, but then they drop right back down to $3,000 to $5,000 a month because there has not been enough training. Guys, if there's anything that I want to emphasize to you today, is that if you are stuck and you do not know what to do, you need to go get a coach. It is just a fact. I'm not saying that you have to get me as your coach. I would love to coach all of you guys, but all of you guys may or may not like my style. So you have to find somebody that likes your style. Hopefully it's me. But the reason I want to emphasize this is because many photographers operate in the dark for many years, not really knowing what they need to do. And they're kind of like hoping and praying that one day there's going to be that one big job that's going to come in and change their business, and then they're going to fix it. In fact, the opposite is true. When you build the system, then the results come. One of my favorite authors right now, Daniel Priestley, he says income follows assets. For example, if you want to get rental income from a property, you need to have a house. If you want to get Turo money or Zipcar money, you need to have a car and a Turo or a Zipcar account. In order to generate lots of leads and lots of money from your photography business, you have to have these systems in place. So many of you spoke about leads, right? There are 4 main ways that you could generate leads. The first way is you could do paid ads. Second, you could post content on social media. Fourth, you could do outreach. And then, third, you could do outreach. And fourth, you could do partnerships. Those are the 4 ways that you generate leads. Now, many of you post content on Instagram, but then what you try to do, now, imagine what this looks like, right? And I will just duplicate this because it is going to be so much better for you guys if I duplicate it. Some of you do this, right? You make your post on Instagram, and I'm going to delete the whole middle right here. And then boom, let me delete that. Let me delete that. Boom, right? You make a post on Instagram, and then you want people to go all the way down here and then book a call. The entire middle of your business is missing. So how do you fix that? The first thing that you guys need to do to generate leads is you have to create these things that we call lead magnets, right? Lead magnets. What is a lead? A lead is anybody who you have their contact information that you can call, text, or email. That is the definition of a lead, right? They're interested in your service. So they have people that like your post may be interested in your content, but leads are the few people that are like, okay, I really like what's going on here. Next, once somebody downloads one of these lead magnets, and you may be wondering, all right, Jordi, what are these types of lead magnets? Those are going to be checklists, guides, video tutorials, trainings, etc. You're going to send them to a thank you page, and then they're going to get enrolled in an email workflow. Some of you have probably been getting a lot of my emails. Some of you have probably put me on do not disturb because you're like, damn, this guy's sending me so many emails. But if you actually read some of the emails that I send you, all of the emails that I send are literally step-by-step guides that if you implement them, you will actually get results. I know some of you don't read the emails, but that's fine as well too. So go back and check your spam just in case you may have been missing out on those emails. Next part, when they go to an email workflow, there's a few things that can happen. One, they're going to get automatically enrolled into a newsletter. A newsletter is not a nice to have. It is a necessity because, as we know, when people are ready to book photo shoots, they don't book right away. It just happens. Sometimes they just need the information. Like I had a client yesterday that he met last week, and she wanted to do an e-commerce photo shoot for her jewelry brand, right? Jordi is a branding photographer, for those of you who don't know. And as a quick aside, I've been doing it for a decade, and some of my clients are H&M, the Brooklyn Borough President's Office. I've done projects with the Barclays Center, Vision Services for the Blind, and many, many more. Real estate professionals, coaches, consultants, and authors, right? So that's what I specialize in. Sometimes they're not trying to buy right away because it has to go through management, the quote has to get approved, and all of these things, right? Like it's just a whole process, right? So when somebody downloads your lead magnet, they're automatically going to get enrolled in your newsletter, right? Because they're on your email list. So we don't really have to count that part. Then you want to do something, right? Let's say you work with coaches or consultants and you help them to create premium content so that they could increase their speaking fees. You may have an automated video that teaches them how to plan a photo shoot on the back end. And then after they watch it, they book a call with you. Or you may do a live training like I'm doing right now, and you may invite people to a virtual space and you talk to them about something that's beneficial for them, not you. Then you may, if you feel like it, you may have a community. This could be a Facebook group. This could be a broadcast channel. This could be a private Slack community. It could be a school.com community. Wherever it is, like it could even be a WhatsApp group, right? This group is going to consist of your target audience, and you're constantly providing them value. Now, the thing is, you may be wondering, do you have to do all of these all at once? Absolutely not. You need to pick the one. If there's any that I would recommend, is post on that newsletter at least 3 to 5 times a week. And if you don't know what to say, you need clarity on who your target audience is, which we're not going to go into today because that is a whole other lesson. But now, once they go through that, there's two things that are going to happen. They're either going to be qualified or unqualified. For the purposes of this, unqualified means people that just don't have the money to buy your service right now. What do you do with those people? You send them to somebody else who will do the project for cheaper, and you take a referral fee. That is one thing that you could do for unqualified people. The second thing that you could do for unqualified people, you could have a mini course. You could have a mini course like we're photographers. People don't know how to create mood boards. You could literally make a course that teaches a lawyer or a business executive or a family how to plan their photo shoot for like $50 to $100. Or for people that want to take their production in-house, you could have a whole program that teaches corporate executive teams how to do production, and you train corporations. These are literal things that are possible if you really take the time to decide what type of photographer you want to be. Guys, is this making sense so far, though? Let me know if this is making sense. Put a yes if this is making sense so far. I want it to make sense, right? We're rocking, we're jamming. Is it making sense? Put those yeses down there, guys. I need to know if this is making sense because this is for you. I want to make sure we're all on the same page, all right? Next. If people are qualified people are naturally going to do their research, right? So some of you guys probably went to my website, you browse my gallery, you're like, okay, this guy, he takes good pictures, right? You probably went to my Google, saw like some content, right? You're seeing like free video content on Instagram. Okay, maybe you went to my YouTube for a little bit. Okay, like the video testimonials, we're working on getting those uploaded, right? And then now you guys are right here, right? So if you look at this whole system, you guys, let me just put this in blue. You guys are right here in my funnel. Wow. Would you look at that? So I'm doing what I'm telling you guys that I'm doing. I don't just talk because I like to hear myself, right? But this is a process. Some of you see my work, you like my pictures, but maybe you just don't trust me yet. Maybe you just need a little bit more, and then you're like, you know what? I feel confident that Jordi could help get me to the next level, right? But this is where you are in the process, right? Right. So you're in the live workshop, and then you're in the newsletter. Some of you guys, my guy Julian here, he recently joined my private community where I am active in it every single day. And I just help photographers just with any question that they have. It's a way that I could answer more questions more than Instagram. But these things are all going on simultaneously. Now, the next question is one better than the other? Not necessarily. If you run paid ads, those leads are not going to know who you are. And because of that, if you have content, this is why content is so important. And I wish that photographers would just take it way more seriously, is that when you run ads or you do outreach or you try to form a partnership, the first thing that people are going to do is they're going to go to your Instagram. And if the last time you posted was August 28th, 2023, people are going to look at it and say, I'm not really sure if this guy's the one for the job. Like, his work is good, but he's very inconsistent. It sends a signal. And whether or not you like Instagram, or you think it's breaking down the American democracy, or you think it's polluting the mind of our teenagers and giving us the attention span of squirrels, you got to get on it. Every photographer that is not as skilled as you or I that are posting are constantly getting the business that you're not, simply because they choose to show up and they're not letting themselves get in the way. That's how this part works. Any questions so far, guys, on any of this before I move into some tactical stuff? Any questions? Any questions? Well, we got a good crowd today. We got a good crowd today. All right. So, so far, guys, now I'm going to show you how to create the ultimate photography business operating system. And I'm going to, oh, Gerard is back. Right. So let's do this, right? Let's get into some tactical stuff right now. So, to create a successful photography business, you will need a well orchestrated system. Most photography business run on word of mouth, hopium, and a series of misaligned workflows. This causes them to cap out on the amount of revenue you can make. It prevents you from scaling your team, and you constantly get frustrated and blame your clients for your lack of success. So, as I showed you guys before, this is what most photographer systems look like. It's just like, remember the diagram here, right? You have this well thought out system here compared to you just sending people to a booking page hoping that they book you. All right, next. And then when they get frustrated, they make false claims like ads don't work, content doesn't work, clients don't understand my art. But these things are not true. Ads do work, content works, and clients understand your art, but they just don't trust you. So, what is a business system? A business system is a structured framework of tools, processes, and strategies designed to manage and optimize its various functions. And this system integrates everything from your lead generation, client management, financial tracking, and performance. In my coaching program, The $1 Million Photographer, we focus on 4 key areas of your business: lead generation, lead conversion, client fulfillment, and client retention and ascension. Those are the 4 areas that we focus on. So as I just gave you guys a walkthrough of the $1 Million Photographer funnel, and this system allows you to 10x your lead generation. But a lot of you guys said that you're looking to generate more leads, but I didn't hear anybody say that they're looking for a better process to manage the leads that they get. Probably one person. But most of you said that you wanted more leads. And that tells me something about your business. If you're not generating enough leads, you're probably not making the amount of money that you desire. Not that you're not making any money, but you're not making the amount that you desire. What the system also does for you is it educates clients on who you are. It turns strangers into loyal fans, and you collect money in your sleep. So, before we design any system, you have to know where you want to go. When I asked some of you, like, what do you want out of this? You guys just said that you wanted to generate more leads, but you didn't specifically say to me, Jordi, I want to generate 20 more leads, because if I generate 20 more leads and I get 5 of them to be paying clients, I will get $5,000 to $10,000 in a month. Nobody told me that. And it is not a surprise to me when you're not making the money that you want. So before we design any system, you need to know where you go. So imagine you're with a group of friends, you start driving, and they ask, where you going? You say, I'm not sure. Let's go. I speak with hundreds of photographers worldwide every single week, and most of you guys don't have clear goals. The very first thing that I would recommend as an exercise, drop this in the chat. How much revenue do you want your business to make per month? Drop that in the chat. How much revenue do you want to make per month? And why? Put that in the chat, because this is the North Star that you need to create for yourself. Without that revenue marker, you're not really going to know what it is that you want to do. And then tell me, what would that number mean for you? Because here's the truth, guys. If you design a $5,000 per month business, that is going to be dramatically different than a $20,000 per month business. You have to think differently. You have to think about processes, systems, tools, workflows. You have to grow beyond. Gerard, I appreciate you, man. Nobody else did this. They shy to talk about money, and they want to make money. It don't make no sense. How the hell are you going to make money if you don't talk about it? We have to get rid of that mindset. All right, good. I pressured some people into sharing. Good. I pressured some people into sharing. This is good, right? So All right. So Gerard, 3K lifestyle change. Stilo, 5 to 10K, then scale up. Lewis, 2,500 per month. Gianmarco, 5K per month. Haroon, in the beginning stages, but you like at least 8 to 10K plus. Terrell, 5K in the beginning stages, and then boom, right? This is good, guys. So now, if I were to coach you guys, the very first thing that I would say to you is, all right, now that we know how much revenue you want to make per month, now we could break that down and look at your photography packages. Now, some of you probably wouldn't have 150 or 250 package. Because if you have to do, let me just pull out my calculator here. If you want to make, and I'm just gonna, my phone is not turning on, right? If you want to make $10,000 a month, I'm I'm gonna pull out my calculator here, right? If you want to make $10,000 a month and you're charging 250, you have to get 40 clients a month. Whoa. Some of you probably wouldn't make your prices that way. Here's how most photographers make their prices. They look at their nearest competitor and then they charge $50 to $100 lower. I've done it before. That's how I started. And it started to stress me out. But let's keep going. Goals aren't a nice to have. Most photographers describe themselves as artists first, and that's cool because you need to create good art to get booked. But the entire concept of a starving artist will not get you far. Goals are the GPS for your business. It gives you something to aim after. It provides you direction. And it is the motivation when times get hard. You look at your goals and you remember why you're doing this in the first place. Now, if your goal is to just make a little bit of money and, like you just want to quit your job, it's not good enough. You need to be very definitive and very clear. I want to make, and this is something that I would recommend you guys say to yourself at night before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning. If you're working in your job and you make $4,000 a month, right? You say to yourself, I want to make $6,000. Well, no, I make $6,000 a month. And in a year, it will give me the freedom to be able to quit my job. That's how you have to program your mind, because the results that you're getting right now come as a result of your programming. So, hey, Jordi, can I just create great photos and have my work speak for itself? You could, but I don't know how long that's going to, I just don't really know if that's going to work for too long, guys. I just don't really know how long that's going to work, right? I just don't really know. And what I want to implore that you guys really think about is, to what extent are you running your business like a hobby? I need you to be honest with that. So your photos do not speak loud enough, and implementing this system in your business will give you a gap. It will separate you from the amateurs. Let's keep going. So what are the key systems in your business? The 4 systems that I just mentioned before: lead generation, lead conversion, client fulfillment and operations, and payment processing and finance. You could break these down into smaller systems, but we're just going to keep it broad for now because that's going to be a whole masterclass. So your lead generation system deals with how you attract your ideal client. If you're not generating leads, for you guys that said you wanted to generate leads, you need to create lead magnets. And I have a training that I can send you guys afterwards that will give you literally a whole step-by-step process on how to do that. Then you want to put these leads somewhere. You want to put them in what we call a customer relationship management tool. I made a diagram today for you guys because I found myself making these diagrams for a living. So you want to have, so when you're doing your paid ads, content, or outreach, some of you, this tool is your website, or it may be your Pixie set, or it may be your Studio Ninja. Those systems are great starter tools. But if you're trying to play in the big leagues, you're going to want to get a more advanced CRM. Now, you don't need to do it right away, but just to think about it from now, because that's what I'm here for you guys. I want you to think about this, like future-proof yourself, right? If you build a house in the middle of a bad neighborhood, chances are it's going to take a long time for the neighborhood to get good. Versus if you just build a house on a good foundation to begin with, you just make the system better over time, right? You could get an old car and fix it up, or you could just get a new car right off the lot. Car is not the best example because it deteriorates over time, but you guys get the point, right? Systems that you may think about, like there's so much, and I don't want to just throw any out there, but like Zoho, HubSpot, High Level, though, like those are good systems to use. Right? And then your marketing automation. So the thing is, when you generate these leads, sometimes they fall flat. A lot of you probably get inquiries and you just don't follow up. So that's where some automation is going to kick in. The automation is going to help you with that. And when you create these lead magnets, guys, you're going to be attracting people from left to the right to the left, right? Like people are going to be like, you can't keep them off of you. That's what a lead magnet does. Now, here is your lead conversion system. This is probably one of my favorites. So this is the process that you take to turn a cold lead into a paying client. It's also known as your sales system. One of the best methods that I've heard about this is by Gary Vee. He says, whatever your jab is, it doesn't entitle you to land the right hook. It just allows you to have the audacity to ask. So for those of you, my boxing fans in here, your jab is like a jab, one. And your jab is content, free trainings, value, right? That's what your jab is. Jab, 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 right? And then your right hook is your ask. That's you now saying, hey, I have this service. Are you interested in buying? And people are going to say yes or no. One of the other ways we phrase this is give, 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 and then ask. The reason that a lot of you guys are scared to give is because you know that deep down you want the other person to give you their money. I don't care if any of you guys buy anything from me. I don't need it. I don't need it because we have about almost 200 leads that come in per month. It doesn't matter if any of you buy anything from me. If you want the help, I'll help you get there. But if I needed money, there's no way in hell that I would make time to do something like this. It just would not be possible, right? So a lot of us spend too much time asking for things instead of giving. Is that making sense? You have to give more. It's the golden rule. Give, and then you will receive. Next, your client fulfillment and operation system. This is your onboarding process. And I'm going to break these down to you because I have a few questions that I'm going to ask you guys to help you to think through this. So when somebody hands you money, what happens next? That's your onboarding process. Your fulfillment process is when somebody gets into your system, now you want to look at, okay, do they know what the next steps are? Are their personal goals clear? And is my process helping them get to where they want? That's your fulfillment process. And then your payment system. How easy is it for people to pay you? Like, do you guys ever go to some stores and then they tell you like, hey, yeah, we don't take credit card? You're like, what? How do you not take credit card in 2024? It is ridiculous. Or they say, oh, yeah, we got to charge the 3% fee. Hey, look, I don't want you to tell me that you're going to charge the 3% fee, sir. Just put it in the price of the product, man. Can you easily track payments, right? Like, can you pull up a report right now and tell me how much money you made last month without guessing? Or can you tell me how many leads came into your system? How many registered? How many are ready to buy? How many need more time? If you can't answer these systems questions, guys, you're driving blind. Like you're just out here doing this and you're walking, hoping that one day your business is going to get better. And I want you guys to stop that. All right. So by now, you should realize that if you want to grow, you can't treat photography like a hobby. If you treat photography like a hobby, you get hobby results. And that is just the game. Now, what does life look like without your systems? You get caught up in client demands, stress. You forget why you picked up your client, why you picked up your camera in the first place. You go through your day and you're like, there's something that I needed to do today. Clients are going to be like, hey, so I made an inquiry and no one got back to me. Oh, well. Or, well, I guess they didn't follow up. I guess I'll go find somebody else. Or, when am I going to get my photos back? Or, are you done with the edits yet? These are questions that I hate. And I hated them so much that I had to do something about it. So, without a proper fulfillment system, they don't know what to expect. So they give you their money and you're like, hey, thank you for booking with me. And then they're like, hey, so what happens next? And then you don't know where your money goes. You're taking a Zelle here, a Cash App there, an Apple Pay there, a Google Pay here. Sometimes you even take cash. And then you're like, I know I put that money somewhere. Or then like when I'm asking you like how much revenue you made last month, you're like, all right, let me go to Cash App real quick. All right, let me write that down. All right, boom, let me go to Zelle real quick. All right, I got that much in Zelle. All right, let me go to Apple Pay real quick. It's a fucking mess. I don't know if y'all, look, if you like running your business like that, be my guest. But the thing that I really want to prevent you guys from doing is I want you prevent, like, you're probably losing so much and you don't realize it. You don't know how many leads you generate. You lose time trying to track down inquiries that were barely interested. You lose money because you can't track opportunity. You lose new client opportunity because you're not following up. You spend most of your day editing and you eventually burn out. Does anybody is this anybody right now? Just be honest with me, guys. I'm here to help you guys. I'm just keeping it real. I've studied this for a decade. And it's okay because what they say that the first step to healing is you got to just be like, all right, I'm fucking up, right? If I were coaching you guys, the first thing that we would declare is you put your hand on your heart, you raise your left hand, and you say, yo, I'm fucking up, yo. And it's okay. Because if you can acknowledge that, you will now put yourself in a position to improve. There's two things that are going to prevent you from growing. Well, three things. Laziness, and I don't think any of you guys are lazy, but these other two may apply to you. Arrogance, feeling like you know everything. And then you're going to be like, all right, yeah, Jordi, this was good information. I'm about to go to YouTube and figure it out myself. That is arrogance. If somebody is in front of you that understands these concepts enough to break it down to you, why would you then say that you're going to go do it on free for YouTube if you don't know how to do it yourself in the first place? Insanity. And that is arrogance. The third disease is ignorance. Ignorance simply just means you don't know. And the purpose of this training is to create awareness so that you guys could do something about it. And ultimately, what I don't want to happen to you guys is you go back to your job and then your boss is like, hey, welcome back. Happy to have you here again. Yeah. Right? I don't want that to happen to you guys. So, here's how you implement these systems in your business. And I'm going to invite some of you guys to talk about this. So what you want to do first, you want to evaluate each of these systems. You want to evaluate your lead generation system, your lead conversion system, your client fulfillment and operation system, and your payment system. And I'll show you how. The first exercise is to document all the things that you do related to that system. And here are some questions that you can ask yourself. And the only way to really take advantage of this is to write it down, right? So I'm going to ask you, guys, put this in the chat. Where do your leads typically come from? Where do your leads typically come from? Okay. Gianmarco, social media is vague. I don't know what social media means. Is it MySpace? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Instagram. Okay. All right, Thumbtack. All right. Okay. Now, my next question is, how do you capture new leads, guys? How are you currently doing this? Right? Put it in the chat. Thank you, Gianmarco. Instagram and Facebook. That's the answer that I need. Right? Now, how do you capture information? Are you texting them? Okay, phone call and text. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you guys for participating. This participation, gets me excited, right? Gets me excited. Yeah. Let's go. Right? All right, this is good. Now, here's the next part. When you know where your leads are coming from, what you want to do, and do this in your own time, not right now, because I want you guys to pay attention, is write down all the steps from, wait, this is interesting. How are you capturing information in a CRM or spreadsheet? Yes or no? Put a yes or a no for this, right? Are you capturing information? Okay, yes. Okay, Lewis, I know you said you had your CRM. Okay, Akeem, you got your Studio Ninja. I remember. No, right? So, all right. So here we go, right? So, big recommendation, you're gonna want to get a CRM. You're gonna get do your research, right? Because CRMs are gonna have different prices. It just depends on what you want to do, but I recommend getting a CRM. You're using your website to collect emails is cool, but trust me, when I tell you that getting a CRM changed my life, because when I got my first assistant, they were able to see the interactions that I had with clients. And I'm actually going to see, like, I want to protect my clients' information, but I'm going to show you guys one quick example of how powerful a CRM is. I'm going to see if I can pull up a client's file just now, but I probably got to just zoom all the way in because I don't want to compromise them. You got to protect and serve. Here we go. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to take a screenshot. Because a screenshot is so this was a consultation that I had with a client literally yesterday. Yeah, because I don't want to just like blast the information all over the internet. That would be very irresponsible of me as a service provider. As service providers, we have the duty and responsibility to protect the information of our clients at all times. So that would be borderline malpractice. Right now, I am crossing out my client's name. just so that I can protect their identity. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so here is a example. So this is a file that we have for one of our client. So as you could see, this is I literally did this call yesterday. We had a consultation. The client runs their jewelry business. They want like 20 pieces of jewelry shot. Jewelry photography is one of my specialties. They want to enhance their website. The budget that we set for this shoot was $1,400, 3-hour photo shoot. And the services that they're going to get, we're going to do like photo shoot planning, of course, a concept development meeting. I'm going to be editing 40 images for them. 40 images is easy because my editing team is going to do it. You'll be damned if you find me sitting around a computer editing 40 pictures. Hell no. Those days are done, right? So, and the reason I write out everything that they're going to get is because this feels like they're getting more. So they're getting like 40 high resolution images, 40 website images, and then I'm going to have my graphic designer do 2 complementary graphics, right? But when my team sees this, I don't need to talk to them over the phone about what I spoke to with the client. It's just good practice. And this is how you scale. You have to do these boring things that just don't really seem necessary, but this is an example, and we do these reports all the time. This client was their project is $1,400, and then we have another client, their budget is like $5,000, because they like that's a little bit more on the marketing side of things because I do marketing consulting for my clients, but I'm designing a brand strategy and and we're building a CRM for a client as well too. The same thing that I teach you guys, I do it for my clients as well too. So. But this is just one of those steps. So now, when you, let me ask you guys this question. Are you talking through, hey, Nick, good morning. You are well-mannered. I appreciate that. Now,
What's up, man?
of course. Now, let me ask you guys this. When somebody contacts you through Instagram, Facebook, Thumbtack, or TikTok, what do you do next? Like, put the next step. I don't need all 5 steps. Just tell me what you do next, right? They make an inquiry. What do you do next? From inquiry, what's the next step?
Well,
So,
first before anything, I need to know what you need. Like, what service. I need to know everything before I even send you a contract or price or anything. Because once I give you a price, the price is the price. Once you give them a price and you put it in the contract, that's the price.
okay, but are you getting them on a call? Or, okay, Luis
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it
we get.
perfectly. He
Oh,
said, fill out a form. Perfect. Terrell just said follow up. Akeem just said follow up. It's not good enough for me. Maybe you are getting them on a call, but this is how step by step I want you guys to think about it. After they make an inquiry, they have to fill out a form. Yes, we're going to get them to a phone call, but that's good, right? Gerard said schedule a discovery call, right? So just like you were saying, Nick, right? You got to figure out the information, but I want to know what the exact next step is. So these are some questions, and this is how you build your system. This is not the sexy part of photography, but if you literally answer these questions, you will literally have a business system by tomorrow. Now, that is going to go into what are the key stages in your sales funnel. If you're not fully familiar with what a sales funnel is a sales funnel is what are the steps that your client needs to go through to book your service. Is it like, do they need to, like, from a consultation, do they get a summary, a proposal? Like, do they book a follow-up call? It's all of those steps in between. Next, client fulfillment and operations. Oh, Nick, I definitely needed you here, man. Now, client fulfillment and operations as it relates to your photography business, right? What are the key? So here's one. Let me ask you guys this. When a client pays their deposit, what is the very next step that you take? When a client pays their deposit, what is the next step that you take? Wait, Akeem, are they paying you before you send the contract? You could unmute your mic if you want. Are they paying you before they sign the contract?
Yeah, majority of the time they do.
Okay. And that is because why? Tell us a little
I
bit.
mean, I don't ask them that. I just tell them, I'm like, okay. So, once I figure out everything, we go over price and whatnot. It's just like, okay, the only two things I really need from you from now is going to be a retainer and then the contract. So while I'm filling out the contract, they normally go ahead and send over that retainer. I put it in there, then I'll put in the contract, yeah, and they put the retainer and whatnot, things like that.
Right? Thank you for sharing that, Akeem.
Mhm.
You literally just helped somebody just now that was struggling with this. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right.
If I was to add to it as well from my side, what I do after they leave their deposit or they pay full, I just have like an email direction to them on what they could expect. You know what I mean? Um, for the session, for our session. If they have any more questions, then they can, you know, get back to me with any type of questions. But that's what normally happens.
Okay. Okay. Now let me ask you guys this. What do you guys do before the photo shoot happens? Like, is there like a gap in between when they pay versus like when they do the photo shoot, or do you guys communicate with them, or what do you do?
Yeah, just kind of contact, just speak to them, make sure that just everything, how things are still going on. They're still on board, making sure they're still on board. If they have any questions, and that's normally what I do. But I'm here to learn more, anything more that I can add on to, you know, better
Oh,
myself and my approach. So yeah.
okay, so
To
we have
add on, my bad.
yeah, 1 second. So we have two really good answers. Louis said photo shoot planning. And then Terrell says, I communicate more about their concept. Exactly. And here's why I like that. Under no circumstance should you be talking about concept, vision, location before they make a payment. Under no circumstances, because the creativity is the gold. They're paying you because they don't have the time, capacity, nor the skill set to create the concept that they want. And that's why I really love those answers. I develop concept. I'll speak about general logistics, right? We got to know where we're going to shoot if we're going to build a concept. But we're going to build the concept after you make it rain. And let me just cover these last 2 points, guys. Payment management, right? So payments, I saw a lot of invoices, contracts and stuff. This is great. Now, for your system, you're gonna want this to be integrated. It's I know Studio Ninja has a payment system, Pixie Set has a payment system, but I would recommend, if possible, for you guys to be able to go into a payment processor or your CRM and be able to look at a report, right? Those are the four main systems. And to just close out everything, and then I just open it, because then I have just two offers to make you guys. Remember, your photography business, if you want to create results, you have to run it like a business, meaning you have to create systems. And we just literally went over how to create all of those. So there's 4 ways that you could generate leads: paid ads, content, outreach, and partnerships. And then in order to generate more leads through that, you need to have lead magnets. Once you create your lead magnets and somebody downloads it, they're going to go to a thank you page. And that thank you page is going to promote your webinar or video training. It's going to promote live workshop. It's going to promote your newsletter or something like that. And all of these things are things that you can implement very quickly on your own. Or for those of you who are interested in building a system like this much quicker, I have two offerings for you that I would like to present. Option number one, and I'm going to put this in the chat and you just tell me which one you're interested in, right? So we have option number one, for those of you who are at the beginning stages, is a photography business starter kit. That is option number one. But don't put anything in the chat just yet, okay? Then option number two, for those of you who are more experienced and are really looking to just figure out how to take those next steps so you could increase your revenue, that is a photography business audit. And then for those of you who are like, yo, I'm just ready to implement this system that you just shared with me, Jordi, I have open enrollment right now for my coaching program. We're launching the next cohort on September 9th. So and we're actually doing an end of summer sale right now for the next week. So if you guys are interested in either one of those, please let me know which option you want to do, and I'll get you over more information and I'll let you know how we could take the next steps. And if it's good for you and good for me, we figure out the next steps together. Okay. So let me know which one of those options you are interested in, right? Let me know. You can put it in the chat. You could send it to me in a direct message. Either one is fine, right? Starter kit, business audit, or coaching. And as always, I want to thank you guys for rocking with me.